Alright, let's do part 1 calculus and start. It says for the position function s of t equals negative 16t squared plus 107t, complete the table. We're going to find the average velocities and the instantaneous velocity at t equals 1. So what we do is s of t is this. Put s of 2, s of 1, 2 and 1. Put 2 in the formula. 2 squared, 107 times 2. 1 over here. 2 is 4. And 60 times that, 64. 150. And then this one's going to give you 1. And then 16, 107. So this is going to be 150 minus 91. Subtract those two numbers. 59. 2 minus 1 is 1. 59 over 1 is 59. Now, the long way. Or, let's do the calculator. Let's hit on, clear. Let's put the same numbers in that formula. Right there. So let's start with negative 16 parentheses 2 squared plus 107 parentheses 2. Enter. It's going to give you 150, which is that number right there. So this is that right there. Or, second part, put the ones in there. 1 and 1. Enter. It's 91. So the long way, calculator way, subtract those two numbers is this. Same answer. Use a calculator to get these answers. There to there. Alright. So, one way to do it is that way. So, some other calculations I did. The long way, of course. All these are the long way. This one I got 67. And the other one, I got put it in there the long way. I got 73.4. And the next one, put it in there again, a long way. I ended up with 74.84. It's getting closer and closer to something. And that something happens to be, let's see, last one, pretty close to 74.984. So the value of the instantaneous velocity at t equals 1 must be 75. That's my conjecture anyway. Okay. Next one. Same thing. In this formula, I'm going to put the number negative 2.9. Negative 2.9, 2.9 is that. Subtract that is 159 over 0.1. And then divide the numbers, you get this. This way, or you can use the graphing calculator. But that's what I got for that answer. Next one. Same formula. The number goes in. Got the answer. 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 And then negative 3.1. Got this answer. 3.01, 3.001, 3.001. So it looks like it's getting closer and closer to a negative 6. Conjecture. The limit of this is going to negative 6. So let's do this another way. Let's take the limit as x goes to negative 3. How do we do that? We gotta factor it. Factor the top. X squared minus 9 is a squared minus b squared. So that must be x plus 3x minus 3. That must be, cancel the x plus 3's, we have x minus 3 left over. So now we have x, limit is x goes to negative 3 of this, put the number in there, negative 3 and negative 3 is negative 6, the answer. Next one, we have the limit is t minus 4 square root of t minus 2. Put the number in with the calculator, of course. calculator, and we have G of 3.9. Put it in there, work it out, calculator, ended up with this answer. Using a graphing calculator, and the other numbers we get is, put the 3.99, 3.999, 4.1, 4.01, 4.001, the answers we got. Now, conjecture, this is going to be going to 4. Let's find out. Multiply, square root of t plus 2, square root of t plus 2, top and bottom. So now we have, that's on top. On the bottom we have 4, that turns out is this one squared, that turns out is 2 of those, minus 2 of those, and that turns out is -4. These cancel. The square root of t squared is just t minus 4, and look, t minus 4 cancels right there. So we're left with square root of t plus 2. So now we can put the number in there. 4, square root of 4 is 2 plus 2 is 4. Use the function to find the following limits. Okay. So the limit as you go to 2 from the negative side. 2 from the negative side means you're coming this way and it gets real close to 3. 2 from the positive side. Okay, so you're going from this side closer and closer, it goes up to the 1. So the limit does not exist because the left and right are done the same. F of 2 is 3. At 2 exactly, you're going to get 3. And that's it, we're done. For this one, all this is going to say, let's just find the limit. As x goes to 6 of this, factors of 18 are 18 and 1, 9 and 2, 6 and 3. Let's use the 6 and 3. So x minus 3, x minus 6, does that give us 18? Yes. Negative 9. Cancel this. You have x minus 3 left over. Now put the number in. 6 minus 3 is a 3. We're given that the limit of f of x, it goes to 8 from there. The limit of h of x goes to 4 there. So this is the formulas we're going to use. So limit of f over g means limit of f over g, f of x, limit of g of x. So this is 8. This is 4. Divide the numbers. It's 2 using the quotient. So now, this one. So the limit of x goes to 1 of this, multiply by square root of x plus 1, square root of x plus 1, multiply it out. So the top, square root of x, square root of x, square root of x squared, that turns out to be 1 square root of x, negative 1 square root of x, negative 1. Bottom, just leave it alone. So now these cancel, and we have square root of x squared is just x, minus 1 is just minus 1. So now notice we have matching numbers here. So 1 times that over that, so this cancels. So we have 1 over square root of x plus 1. Put the 1 in there. Square root of 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 over 2. Alright. This is a little bit more complicated. You look in here, look in here. What do you see? W2, W's, W4s, W3. So we're going to multiply by a special 1 over W4, 1 over W4. So multiply this. Let's change this to this first. And this one, leave it alone. So now this times this one, this times this one, this times this one is those. This one times the square root, square root, you're going to have 36W4, W4. And that turns out it's going to give you 2W3 over W4. Now we can reduce. That's going to be 48. 3 over W, 1 over W squared. And this one is going to give you a 36 and a 2 over W. So now, formula. As x goes to infinity, 1 over x to the n is 0. So I mean that this is going to become 0, 0, 0. Then that's going to be 48 on top. Square root 36 is 6. 6 divides that 8 times. Alright, this one. Another limit. The limit is x goes to infinity of 8x over this. So we're going to multiply by 1 over x, 1 over x. So that's going to be 8x over x. That's going to be 16x over x, 4 over x. Reduce it, simplify it. This is going to be 8, 16, 4 over x. Now, using this theorem over here, so we have 4 over x becomes 0, so we have 8 over 16. 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8's cancel out, so you have 1/2. That's the horizontal asymptote of that. This one, multiply by 1 over x squared. That's the biggest power down there, upstairs, downstairs. So multiply it in there. So we have 12x squared with that, 9x over x squared, 7 over x squared, 4x squared over x squared, plus 2 over x squared. Now reduce it. This is going to be 12, 9 over x, 7 over x squared divided by 4 plus 2 over x squared. Again, theorem says limit is x to infinity, 1 over x is equals 0. So we have 12, 0, 0, 4, 0. You have 12 over 4, which is going to give you a 3, or horizontal asymptote is y equals 3. Limit of this one, so same thing. Start with highest power is x6. Let's multiply it. 1 over x6, 1 over x6. Times the top, the bottom, denominator, numerator. So now this reduces to 5 over x. This reduces to 5 over x6. This one is 1. This one is 2. As x goes to infinity, what happens here? We're going to have 0, 0, 1, and a 0. So 0 over 1 is 0. So the horizontal asymptote is y equals 0 for that. Find all the asymptotes of this. Okay. So let's find them. They are multiplied by 1 over x squared, 1 over x squared across. We have this and this, all these guys right here. Simplify them. We have 4, 8 over x squared, 2, 7 over x, 9 over x squared, negative. Limit as x goes to 0, limit x goes to infinity of 1 over x to the n is 0. So we're going to get 4 over 2, which is 2, horizontal. Set the bottom equal to 0, this part right here. Set it out, factor it. That's going to be that. That's going to be negative 9. It's going to be 9. And then negative 2 is 7. Set that equals 0. Minus 9 minus 9. 2 divided by 2 divided by 2. 9 over 2. Over here. Add 1. So negative 9 halves and positive 1 are the vertical asymptotes. Now, since the highest power on top, 4x squared, and the bottom is 2x squared, they're the same power. That means that there's no slant asymptote because the powers are the same. Determine the intervals where this thing is continuous. Alright, this is continuous as long as it's not 0 around here. So let's set that equals 0. A squared minus b squared, there it is. So we have x squared, 3 squared, x plus 3x minus 3, x plus 3 equals 0, minus 3 minus 3, x is negative 3, minus 3 plus 3 plus 3, so x equals negative 3 and 3. That's don't use those. In other words, these are ones we don't want to use. So negative 3, don't use it, 3, don't use it. So before that, in the middle, outside, it's good. Continuous. So negative infinity to negative 3, union, negative 3 to negative 3, to positive 3, union, 3 to infinity. Evaluate the limit. So if we put this number in there, it's not. It's gonna work because it's continuous everywhere for this guy. So just put it in there. So 5 goes in there. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 is that. It's 49. 49 is 7. That's the answer. This one. Suppose x lies in the interval 1, 5. It's not equal to 3. Find the smallest positive value delta such that the inequality 0 less than absolute value x minus 3 is less than delta is true for all possible values of x. Okay, so let's start with this. This formula right here. Absolute value of x less than a means it's between negative a and positive a. So that means that we have negative delta, and x minus 3 in the middle. Add 3, add 3, add 3. We have this and this and this. And this point has to be a 1. And that point has to be the 5. So equal to 1. Subtract. Negative that. Divide, multiply negative 1. Delta must be 2. Or the other one, delta plus 3 must be 5. So minus 3 minus 3. So delta is 2. So the answer must be 2. Use precise definition of the limit to prove the following limit. Specify a relationship between epsilon and delta that guarantees the limit exists. Alright. So absolute value 6x minus 9 minus 9 has to be less than epsilon. Epsilon can be anything you want. Epsilon bigger than 0, that's it. Work it out. This is gone. Break it up into absolute value 6, absolute value x, and divide by 6. So x is less than epsilon over 6. So let's just let delta equal what? Epsilon over 6. Choose delta to be epsilon over 6, whatever epsilon is. Then this will be work, and this will be less than epsilon whenever it's in here. Find the average velocity of the function over this interval. Alright, so there's a function. Average velocity means f of b minus f of a over b minus a. Put the numbers in there, 7, 4, 7, 4. Put it in the formula. It'll be 3 over 7 minus 2, 3 over 4 minus 2. That's going to be 3/5, 3/2 minus. Multiply by 2, 2, 5, 5 to have the same denominators. So now we have 6 tenths, 15 tenths. Put them together, 6 minus 15 is negative 9 tenths over 3 over 1. If you want to make it into fraction. Flip this around, reciprocal. And now 9 is 3 times 3. Cancel one of these. Negative 1 times 3 times that is negative 3, and 10 at the bottom. Find all vertical asymptotes of this. So the bottom equal to 0. So x squared by 64, x equals 0. Break it up, x times x times 64. That's done. Subtract, x is negative 64. So vertical asymptotes are 0 and negative 64. So now this is a complicated looking guy here. We'll multiply by 1 over x33, 1 over x33. Multiply straight across. So we have this. So now we're going to simplify this right here a little bit. So 1/3 from 3/3, and 3/3 to 3/3 and gone, and then this one stays. 3/3 gone, and then 3/3 that's going to be alright there, and then this one, there it is. Now simplify all this. We have x to the 2/3, 6 minus that, this one. Oh, this as x goes infinity of x to whatever power it is going to be 0. So that's going to be 0, 6, 0, negative 3, 0, 0. So 6 over negative 3 is negative 2. Use the graph to find delta greater than 0 so that this works, and f of x is x plus 3. Epsilon is this, and x0 is that, and L is that. So put the numbers in, work it out, take the parentheses off this, so we have x plus 3 minus 2, x minus 2 is less than 0.2, so delta must be that right there. Find the value derivative function at the point. So, first find the derivative. 2x squared plus minus 4x, so the derivative of this is going to be 2 times that is 4x, that's done, minus 4. F prime of negative 1 is going to be 4 times negative 1, negative 4 plus, and another negative 4 is going to be negative 8. Match the graph of the function on the right with the graph of the derivative. Alright, if y equals x, will be a line like this, then y prime will be 1, which is that one. And if it was a square, it would be this. And 2x would be that one. No, no, no. That's the one. Because y equals x is this line. Y prime is 1 cross. That's it. That matches it. Evaluate the derivative of the function below using the limit definition of derivative. Alright, that's fine. Here's a function. F of x plus h minus f of x over h goes to 0. X plus h goes in this. So now x plus h squared means two of those. X squared plus xh plus xh plus h squared minus 3x minus 3h. And let's see what else we have. Minus x squared plus and minus. Now this x squared plus 1xh plus 1xh plus h squared minus 3x plus 1 minus x squared minus 3x plus, yep, minus plus minus, okay. So now 1xh is 2xh. Everything else copy it, but we notice that x squared and x squared goes away, 1 minus 1 goes away, and 3x minus 3x goes away. So left over is 2xh plus h squared minus 3h. Break up in two different fractions, 1, 2, 3 fractions. Reduce it, reduce it, reduce it. We have this. So now, as h goes to 0, what happens? We have 2x, leave it alone. That goes to 0, and that goes to minus 3. So the answer is 2x minus what? 3. We're done. Use the quotient rule. Means f over g is f times g minus f times g over that. Prime the first, prime the last, over the side 1 squared. So x minus 6, 4x minus 3, prime the first. X minus 6, 4x minus 3, find the last, over the bottom squared. Derivative of x is 1, derivative of 6 is 0. Derivative of 4x is 4, derivative of that is 0. So we have 1 minus 0 is 1 times that, and this is 4. So 1 times that is 4x, 1 times that is minus 3. We have negative 4 times that is negative 4 times that, negative 4x. That times is going to be negative 24 and negative positive 24. 4x minus 4x gone. So this two numbers here is going to give 21 over 4x minus 3 squared. Alright, use the product rule to find the derivative, and then find the derivative expanding product first. Okay, so f times g plus f times g for product. Derivative first, derivative last. So we have first one, x minus 6 prime times out, plus x minus 6 times this one prime. Now, the derivative of this is going to be 1 minus 0, which is 1. This is going to be 2 plus 0, which is 2. So now 1 times that is 2x, 1 times that is 3. That times that is 2x, that times that is minus 12. 2x, 2x, 4x, and then this will give you a negative 9 using the product rule. Or, let's expand this folded out first. This times this is this, that times that is that, negative 6 times that, negative 12, and that times that is negative 18. Put them together, 2x squared minus 9x minus 18. Now let's take the derivative. So that's going to give you 4x minus 9 minus 0, which is y prime equals 4x minus 9. Same thing. Expand it, or just use the product rule. If f of x is sine of x, then what is the value of f prime of 3 pi over 2? Well, formula, y equals sine f of x, y prime equals cosine f of x, f prime of x. So take the derivative of this, is going to be cosine of x times that derivative there. Derivative of that is going to be 1. 1 times that is the same thing. So now that we're here, we're going to have to evaluate this. F prime of 3 pi over 2 is cosine of 3 pi over 2. Put it in the calculator, run it, and you're going to get a 0. Evaluate the limit. Limit is x equals 0. Sine 5x, sine 7x. There's a formula that says limit is x equals 0. Sine of a of x over a of x is 1. Let's change it. 1 over x, multiply top and bottom. So now we have this. Now it's multiplied by 5, 5, 7, 7 on top. That's a 1, that's a 1. Straight across, we have this. We have this. Now, this 5 over 7, I'm going to factor it out right here. So now we have sine of 5x over 5x, sine of 7x over 7x. Take the limit of the top, limit of the bottom. And we know that this is a 1, and this is a 1. So 5 times 1, 7 times 1 is 5 over 7. Find dy dx. Here's the original problem. Formulas. Sine f of x, cosine of f of x, the derivatives. So the derivative of 7 sine of x is 7 sine cosine of x. 7 sine, derivative is sine is cosine, and then derivative here, this is 1. 1 times that, same thing. This one's going to be derivative of 6 cosine is going to be a negative 6 sine of x, prime that. 1 times that, same thing. So we have 7 cosine of x minus 6 sine of x. Or dy dx, same thing. Alright, find the derivative of the following. We have a product, f times g. At first, fg prime the first, prime the last. So the derivative of this one times that one, plus this one times the derivative of the second one. So now, the derivative of e to the minus x is going to be e to the minus x times negative x primed. This is going to be, the derivative of sine is going to be cosine of x times x prime. The derivative of negative x is going to be negative 1. Negative 1 times that is negative 1 e that. 1 times that is cosine of x. So now, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this. See this negative right here? I'm going to put it there. And this one here, I'm going to put it there. Rewrite it this way. Now I'm going to factor out e to the minus x, e to the minus x from both of these. There it is. So now e to the minus x gone. This is left over. E minus x is gone. So you have negative sine x. So we have e to the minus x, parentheses, cosine x minus sine x. So now we have find the equation of the line tangent to the following curve at the given point. First, find the derivative. The derivative of this right here, well, the derivative of sine is cosine, so let's go. So it's going to be negative 12x plus 5 cosine of x times this prime. Well, that's 1 times that, same thing. So y prime equals negative 12x plus 5 cosine of x. Now put the number in there, 0. Y prime of 0 is negative 12 times 0, 5 times cosine of 0. So we have 0 plus 5 times 1 is 5. So y prime of 0 is 5, which means m, that's a slope. And we have a point, 0, 0. Point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So now, put the numbers in. You have 0, 5, 0. So that minus 0 is going to be y. And then 0, x minus 0 is still going to be x. So we have 5x. That's it. Y equals 5x. A little bit more exciting problem here. Okay. H of x, p of x. So, the derivative of h of x, h prime of x, is going to be f prime of g of x times g of x. Well, put the number in there. We want to find what? Of 2. So, first you get to find out what's g of 2. Look in the table. G of 2, we ended up with a positive 1. And then g prime of 2, look in the table. We found it to be a 1/8. And this is now f prime of 1 is negative 6. So negative 6 times 1/8 from the table is going to be negative 6 over 8. Factor it. 2 times that, cancels. Minus 3/4. P prime of x is g prime of f of x times f prime of x. So put the number in 1, 1, 1. So f of 1, if you look in the table up there, f of 1 is 1. And f prime of 1 is a negative 6. So multiply, and then g prime of 1 is what? 7/8. So this times this is going to be 42 over 8. 2 times that, so the answer is negative 21 over 4. Calculated the derivative following. Here's the formula. Function to a power, bring the power in front, derivative outside. So, chain rule, you want to call it. put the power in front, subtract 1, and derivative of this part. So that's going to be 7, derivative of 4x, 4, 0, 4. Now multiply 4 times 8 across, you're going to get 32. 4x minus 7 to 7, or dy dx is that. Find the derivative. Same thing. We have the same formula. Put the number in front. 3 times negative 4. 6x to the 5th plus 1. Negative 1 minus 4 minus 1. Derivative of this. Well, this is going to be negative 5. 30x4, 0. 30x4. So now, this and this together up here, negative power, bring it to the bottom, right there, denominator. Now multiply the numbers. That turns out as negative 360 x to the 4 over 6x5 plus 1 to the 5 power. dy dx is the same thing. Cosine of 7t plus 4. Alright, formula. Cosine of this is going to be negative sine f of x times f prime of x. So this is negative sine of this and derivative outside. This is going to be 7 and 0 and 7, and then 7 bring it to the front, so it's negative 7 sine of 7t plus 4. That's it, or this way. dy dy is implicit differentiation. Alright, so here's x, here's y4. Derivative of x is 1. This is going to be 4y to the 4 minus 1 times y prime. 4y cubed times y prime. Divided by 4y cubed, 4y cubed. So now we have this over this equals y prime. So y prime is this, or dy dx equals 1 over 4y cubed. Alright. Says use implicit differentiation, you find that, and find the slope of the curve at this point here. Okay. So there's a problem. The derivative of that is going to be 3x squared. The derivative of this is going to be 3y squared y prime equals 0. So now minus 3x squared minus 3x squared. So this is gone. So we have 3y squared y prime equals negative 3x squared divided by 3y squared, 3y squared. So now, can this reduce? 3 divides 3, negative 3, negative 1 times this. Or dy dx is this right here. Now it says what happens when you put the negative 4 in there. So negative 4, x and y. So x and y. Work it out. Negative 4 times that. Negative 16 over 16. So the answer is a negative 1.